This is from season 6. This is episode 8, Lisa on Ice.
Hey, Millhouse, knock him down if he's in your way. Jimbo, go for the face. Look, Ralph Wiggum lost his shin guard. Hack the bone.
Ooh, I considered this episode for my list. It did not make it, but I love this episode.
This episode is just so fucking good. It is so good.
For a time, I had it on my list.
This is okay. Let's get into it. So, basic plot: Lisa is failing a subject.
Yeah,
which is that's a new element to the show. But what is she failing? She's failing gym. Which, that's kind of relatable. A lot of like smarter academic people struggle with physical activities in school. They even like try to get out of it. Bart, on the other hand, he's not necessarily failing anything, but like he's kind of got like straight D's, so he's like just passing enough, right? But Lisa is failing a subject, and I love that like they're like in the kitchen, the Simpsons kitchen, and like Marge is like giving Lisa a lecture on like how concerned she is about this. Like, this isn't normally like you, honey. And Bart's Homer is just like, great work, boy. I'm gonna take you out for a sundae or something. And then Lisa, it's like one of my favorite Lisa lines. She's like, that's not fair. Why is Bart getting a present and I'm getting chewed out?
That's all of them. And I'm so proud you didn't try to forge my name. How about a present, son?
Well, I could use a new pair of hockey skates.
Done and done.
That's not fair. Why is Bart getting a present and I'm getting chewed out?
Ah, the mysteries of life.
The interactions between Lisa and Homer are sometimes some of the funniest.
Yeah, the way Homer's written in this episode is really interesting. It's a perfect sort of parody of like the competitive dad who's pushing his children into sports.
Right,
and, like,
he's playing the sports parent.
And that's such a big, like, we've all experienced that kind of thing growing up with either our own family members or like siblings or family and friends. There's always like parents that take it too far with sports,
right.
And they're like, yeah, you got to crush them, you got to do good. Like they're over invested in their children's like sports success, that kind of thing. So Homer's tweaked a bit in this episode, I feel, where he's like there's a number of ways he could have been written. He could have just been lazy and not giving a shit, or he could have just been
they make him go all
jerk
in.
Homer, but no, he's like all in on like competitiveness and pitting the kids against themselves and stuff. Yeah.
So Lisa will pass. She makes an agreement with the phys ed teacher. She'll pass PE if she joins a Pee-wee sports team. Which we get a little montage of her like just sucking at random sports, like volleyball and basketball. Meanwhile, Bart is actually already playing hockey, and he's actually pretty damn good at it. He plays on the Mighty Pigs, which is
Mighty Pigs.
That's Chief Wiggum's team.
Yes, yeah. And then Apu is one of the opposing.
So the intro to this is Bart, early in the episode, is playing. It's the Mighty Pigs versus the Gougers, which is coached by Apu. And Milhouse is the goalie in for Apu's team, and he's like terrible. And Bart like knocks his teeth out, which is just heinous. He like does a slap shot and like hits Milhouse in the teeth or something. And then after the game, Bart and Lisa are just kind of like hanging around outside the rink, and Bart starts flicking garbage with his hockey stick.
And Lisa's like,
blocking it, defensively blocking it. Apu sees this because he's like, we need a new goalie. That's what we need. Like, Milhouse is useless, right?
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
He sees the potential of Lisa.
He sees the potential of Lisa. And then he fires, which is like so, what's the word I'm looking for? Irresponsible. It's so irresponsible. He fires like a slap shot at Lisa.
To
see if she'll block it. And to everyone's surprise, she actually catches the puck. Turns out she has potential. So Apu desperately wants Lisa to join the team. Lisa is reluctant at first, but then decides that she's got to do it because this might be her only chance to avoid getting an F, which she feels will haunt her forever. Yeah. Which has one of my favorite cutaways.
Great character motivation. And then, the cutaway.
The incredible cutaway.
Yeah.
I have to join the team or I'll get an F that will haunt me for the rest of my life.
I now pronounce you President of these United...
Stop the inauguration.
I just discovered our president-elect got an F in second-grade gym class.
In that case, I sentence you to a lifetime of horror on Monster Island. Don't worry, it's just a name.
What he meant is that Monster Island is actually a peninsula.
Needlessly evil.
Needlessly over the top. Yeah.
Like, I sentence you to a lifetime of horror on Monster Island.
Monster Island.
And then Lisa's like, just, and then the judge, don't worry, it's only a name. And then it just cuts, and they're just like on this like actual monster island, like something out of like Godzilla, like Destroy All Monsters. They're being chased by like Rodan and like Gamera and everything. And then Lisa's like, he said it was only a name. And then you get that great, clever joke of the other guy. What he meant is, it's actually a peninsula.
Yeah. That is a fucking
That's a gold joke. Absolute fucking gold joke.
But I love that's so relatable what Lisa's experiencing because everyone's been a kid and you're like, oh no, if I fail this test or if I fail this thing, it's going to haunt me forever.
Yeah,
or like,
you think this is the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I
it's
fail
your
this
whole
test,
world. Yeah.
There's no coming back from this. My life's ruined.
Or even the simple thing that like parents would often or teachers would often be like, it's going on your permanent record. And this is going to affect you when you're grown up. But like as a kid, you don't realize that like no one cares about your public school grades. It's
complete nonsense, folks.
Yeah.
Complete nonsense. Yeah. Does not mean a thing if you're listening and you're younger. Yeah. So Lisa joins the team and ends up being a natural, taking to the sport very well.
Yep.
It actually opens her up and she kind of like has she finds a part of her personality she didn't know existed. So she becomes like very competitive and very like aggressive.
She's always been competitive academically, but now she's channeling it into like
a physical activity.
Yeah.
And she ends up basically leading her team. And this now gets Homer's attention because earlier in the episode, they set up that Homer absolutely loves watching Bart's games. He's proud of his son. He's proud of how well he plays. Like Homer very much is a sports dad.
Yeah.
Like he loves watching his kids succeed. So,
but he's also a buffoon, so he values like strength and sports and stuff. He's like, yeah, like, so that's what
he has a really great line that's like so fucking mean. So like it's right when he realizes how skilled and how fun it is to watch Lisa. He's like, to think of all the time I wasted on you. Like to his own son?
Wow, eye of the tiger, mouth of a teamster. To think of all the time I wasted on you. Well, not wasted. I love you.
Like to Bart? And Bart's just like literally just like
so good.
This, of course, starts a rivalry between the two siblings, culminating in a championship game where the two teams face off. Lisa's team versus Bart's team. So it's Chief Wiggum's team versus Apu's team.
I like we also get the who gets to sit up front in the car after the game. I think that's also a game.
Well, Homer, so the entire, so I got it right here.
Okay.
The rivalry is pure fun. Homer, like, encourage his kids to compete for his affection.
For his love and affection.
Right, literally. So he is encouraging a very unhealthy thing, which is like, he's pitting his kids against each other. Really, which is not a good thing to do, right? But the Lisa and Bart, sometimes when they're like, it feels very real, you know, like sibling rivalry is a very real thing. And I think they did a very good job of portraying it in this, the way like Lisa and Bart are at each other the whole episode.
Homer's behavior is like toxic, but it's very relatable. Like,
I love, like among the things that happens, Bart, Lisa comes into her room and Bart's already sitting in her room. And he's and Bart at this point, Bart has realized like the hierarchy has changed.
Yeah,
and she's starting to move in on his quality time with Homer. So he's jealous. He immediately just becomes super fixated on his sister, and he's like super jealous. And he's got to like remove her from the situation. And he tries to threaten her. He's like, I just want you to know, I just ripped the head off Mr. Honey Bunny.
Yeah.
And which he thinks is like one of Lisa's like toys, and then Lisa immediately is like, Bart, that was your cherished childhood toy.
But instead, I just ripped the head off Mr. Honey Bunny. Bart, that was your cherished childhood toy. Ah, Mr. Honey Bunny!
Bart immediately
like,
realizes he fucked up and destroys his own cherished childhood memento. And they have a great callback to that later, where at the beginning of the game between Lisa and Bart, they skate up to each other to kind of egg the other one on, fling a little bit of mud. And Lisa's like, I'm wearing my lucky rabbit's head.
It's the severed head of
the
Mr.
severed
Honey.
head. She actually put it on a necklace. That's so clever. That's a great callback. There's the nice little fight moment they have.
Yeah.
That's the infamous, I'm going to swing my arms like this.
Oh, yeah. That's.
And if you happen to get hit by him, it's your own fault.
Well, I'm going to kick my legs
Like this. And if any of the air from that kick should hit you, that's your own fault. And then they just slowly go toward each other.
And
then it cuts.
yeah.
And then they're just rolling around on the ground like, animals.
Is that where they also cut downstairs to Homer?
Yes.
And he's like,
the pie.
Don't you eat this pie. He's like, I'm going to go like this.
And if you get eaten, it's your own fault. Yeah.
Smashes his skull off the.
He hits his head off the cabinet, and he's like, whatever. What else do I got here? Do you have anything to add on this?
No, I mean, is this the best sports episode
For me.
For The Simpsons?
For me. There's another one that's really good.
There's the football one.
I don't think that one's as good as people say it is. It's okay.
Yeah.
I never thought that one was good. A better episode, I think, is Dead Putting Society.
That's a very good. That's early. That's like season 1 or 2.
Season 2.
Season
I
2.
did watch
Yeah.
season 2.
Yeah.
Dead Putting Society is a good episode. That's where Rod goes up against Bart. There's some great moments in that.
Oh, yeah. That's a very good
That's
one.
another good
So we got dead putting, we've got the football, and this ice hockey, the hockey one.
So a couple of random things that I loved. Right at the beginning of the episode, Kent Brockman is such a fun character.
Oh, yeah.
In the show.
Yeah.
I always love when Kent Brockman showed up. They gave him such great little cutaway jokes that are so quick. And it opens with them watching TV, and it's Channel 6 Action News. And it's just so deceptive and manipulative what they're doing with this, where they're trying to make the news so edgy and
Is this
exciting.
a guitar solo? Like,
It might have something like that.
thing.
It's not the Ion Springfield. It's not that one.
Oh, okay. I think that's what I'm thinking
No,
of.
that's the Ion Springfield. So it's just like Channel 6 Action News. So Kent Brockman comes in. He's like, Kent Brockman here. Our top headline: President Reagan dies. His hair.
Now, here's your action anchor, Kent Brockman. Hello, I'm Kent Brockman. Our top stories tonight: a tremendous explosion in the price of lumber. President Reagan dies. His hair.
It's so fucking manipulative.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the weather report, and it's like there's a storm coming, and they have a death count. It's just so morbid.
So over the top.
Yeah, so over the top. And it's like, well, Kent, the death count is currently sitting at 0, but I'm sure it's ready to pop at any time. It's like that level of sensationalist news.
Sensational, salacious news.
Just if it bleeds, it leads. Just that level. I find that so funny. When Homer starts spending more time with Lisa, Bart's kind of depressed and alone. And this is a nice little moment. I like this. Marge actually offers to spend time with Bart to cheer him up.
Yeah.
And she's like, and immediately Bart's like, and then she's like, don't have a stereotypical picture of me just because I'm your mother. And then I think she has some cute line where she's like, we can shoot the hoop ball, basketball. Yeah. So then it cuts to them. It's very quick. This is 20 seconds.
I do recall
and
that.
It cuts to them Bart's just sitting there deflated, and Marge is dribbling. She's like, okay, here it comes, coming down. And they're doing one-on-one.
Watch out for the shack attack. Ow! I told you to watch out.
I don't know. I always thought that
that's
funny.
always
one of the more adorable Marge moments.
Yeah.
For me, Marge is always you got the main family here. I've got their weird severed heads lined up here. Number 1's always going to be Homer. To me, number 2 is always kind of Lisa and Bart mixed. And then Marge, to me, is always of
Marge
the main
has some
family.
great lines.
She has some great moments, but I find she very rarely owns episodes. She works great when you sprinkle her into funny moments. More so when you pair her up with Homer or pair her up with the kids. You know what I mean?
She has some good standalone episodes, I would say.
I disagree. Let's keep going.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Okay. The ending. So it all
The
builds
final-
up to this final game between the two of them. They set it up like it's a championship game. I don't know
I
if
think
it
it's
is or
just a
isn't. I think
game.
it's just a game.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the entire town gets invested in this
Yes,
game.
all of a sudden the whole town is like gambling and is invested
right.
on it.
And
yeah.
including, I love this scene. Mo comes over to the family dinner.
Yeah,
They're
and
all
he's like testing
and
them.
at this point,
how are you kids feeling?
and at this point, everyone's all like angry at each other. Like Homer is excited about the prospect of his kids competing. Bart and Lisa are just like
They're basically not speaking.
They're not speaking.
Yeah.
And Marge, of course, hates the whole situation because she doesn't like that it's like tearing the family apart. And out of nowhere, Mo comes in and he's just like, "Hello," like not invited. He's
Yeah.
like, "So, how are you kids feeling? Any injuries that might be interesting?"
Yeah,
Like, he's trying to get insider information for betting.
gambling, yeah.
And I like that Marge immediately like shuts him down and gets rid of him because normally she kind of like is pleasant, right?
Yeah.
And I think she even says something like, "I hope you understand. I don't have the energy right now to pretend that I like you." It's like something like that.
Such a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. But the whole town gets invested in this one hockey game. The tension gets super high. The hockey game plays out. It's actually very well animated. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's really well done.
The last like 5-6 minutes is just a straight hockey game between the two of them.
Yeah.
It's very tense. It's like going
It's shot like a sports drama.
yeah, it is.
where
And we
it's-
get the whole town is watching this game. And they're all invested in this game. And they start getting like it's like Pee-wee hockey, but for
it's
whatever
like, eat
reason.
them alive kind of
Yes,
thing. They're
and
like,
everyone's like getting this bloodlust for the game.
Yep.
And it like goes to a fever pitch where at one point, for like no reason, Hans Moleman just like falls down the steps and drops his food, and everyone just like turns and laughs at him, like implying that like this is the tone of this crowd is that
Yeah.
they're all just like mean-spirited, just like hyper-aggressive. Like they think violence is funny at this point.
Yeah, what's a huge thing in the entire series as a whole, and especially classic era Simpsons, of like the town forming into a mob
They're
mentality.
like mob, right? Yeah,
It's very common.
very classic.
Yeah.
And then it has one of my favorite endings ever. It comes down to, so the game is tied at this point. It's like 1-1 or 2-2.
Yep.
It's a tie game. Everyone's on the edge of their seat. Who's going to win? Jimbo, I think it's Jimbo Jones because he's on Lisa's team, trips Bart. Bart
It's a
gets a
penalty.
penalty shot.
Penalty shot.
So Lisa is the goalie, again, to remind everyone. And Bart is like the superstar, like, you know, the goal scorer, like, you know, the sharpshooter type character, right? And Homer hypes this up even more. He goes, "Oh my God, Marge, a penalty shot with only 4 seconds left. It's your child versus mine. The winner will be showered in praise. The loser will be taunted and booed until my throat is sore." It's so good because that's the big thing is like Homer and Marge are watching the whole thing. Marge is like, "I can't watch. This is so awful." And Homer is just like gleefully watching. And every time for him, it's like they're playing for their parents' love. And every time, like if Bart gets a goal, he's like, "I love Bart." And if Lisa saves like a shot, he's like, "I love Lisa."
Yeah.
Like so, he keeps trying to get Marge involved in this, where he's like, "So you're a Bart fan, are you?" It's like their own children. So then, as Bart is skating towards Lisa to take the penalty shot, I want to talk about heartfelt moments.
Oh yeah, this is a big one.
We get these beautiful flashbacks that we've never seen before. They're original to this episode of Lisa and Bart getting along and having fun as even younger kids.
Growing up together.
And so Bart's having these flashbacks and Lisa's having these flashbacks. And by the time Bart skates up close to the crease, he stops, looks at his sister, who they're both thinking the same thing. Why are we doing this? We love each other. this has gone too far.
Yeah.
Let's end the bitter rivalry. Let's just end it that we had a great game. They take off their equipment and they hug and they skate slowly on the ice.
towards each other and
they
hug.
skate on the ice
Yeah.
and they both say, "Great game."
And the
Beautiful.
clock runs out.
And the clock runs out and it's a tie game. Beautiful
Yeah.
moment. But then, I love it. It cuts to Homer and he's crying.
Yeah.
And Marge is like, "Oh, homie," and you think like, "Oh, he was also moved like we all were," but no. Like, and the great thing about The Simpsons is like, usually when they gave you tearjerker moments, they immediately lightened the mood. You know what I mean? They didn't let you you're not going to let you cry for 5 minutes. It's like, no, we got to give you some levity. So then, turns out Homer is just crying because he's disappointed in his loser kids.
Yeah, my loser kids.
Yeah, because he's like, they're both losers, and that's when the stadium erupts. It ends in a riot.
Rip off! We paid for blood! Let's tear this place apart! Good idea!
Because the entire crowd is like, tie game, what the hell is that? And everybody starts freaking out. And Hans Moleman has a great line. He's like, "We paid for blood." And then it ends with the town of Springfield tearing the stadium apart.
Yeah,
like, I don't
of
know.
course.
Someone's like, I think it's Wiggum is like, "Let's tear this place apart." Like the cop, like the chief of
Yeah,
police.
it's complete mob mentality.
Yeah, and then it just turns into chaos, and they just start tearing the stadium apart.
Yeah.
Love that
Oh, yeah.
episode.
I almost had this episode on my list.
It's perfect. It's a great one. This is one of the ones that surprised me.
It's my favorite sports episode.
When I rewatched it, I was like, "Holy fuck, this episode's good."
Yeah.
You know?